Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd down here at the Keystone Cougar display. Mr. Kevin Horkey saying hi. This right here, it's like a reintroduction of a floor plan they used to do, but it's so much better. And with opposing slides on the back, I finally get a chance to say, look at the absolute dump truck this thing's working with. This is the new Cougar 320RDS. And what they did here is where a lot of brands are coming up with rear dens. That's kind of what this one's in. But a lot of rear dens have a theater seat facing a TV and opposing hide-a-beds. Why do you need seating for 6 butts in a couple's model? And the funny thing is they still came up with seating for 6 butts, but they did it in a way that provides more windows, more space, more function, I think. Not to mention, I really like the way they did the dining on this one. Now upstairs, it's that same big cat Cougar you love where you got that king or queen hide-a-bed. You're ready for dual airs. Stackable washer dryer is one of the new for 23 features. Along with that, so you don't have to take a chilly willy shower, you got yourself a tankless on-demand water heater. So if you're taking back-to-back showers, nobody gets frozen out, nobody gets chilled. We're 0 to 110 degree rated. Apologies if you hear some background noise, by the way. I am in a live dealer display and they're trying to keep us all entertained by cranking up the jams and whatnot. But the fact is, there's some noise going on around here. Now, speaking of noise, I'm a person who used to make a lot of noise in a Southern Michigan rock band. You might notice I didn't make a living doing that. Thank God this backup plan RV nerd thing worked out here. So, what's interesting about this is it's almost like a classic. You see that sectionalized, like dedicated, clearly defined kitchen, but the kitchen isn't like separated away from the rest of the action. You don't feel like you're a second-rate citizen, and you like it's defined. It's an open living room concept that has clarity of definition in kitchen, living room, and everything. I'm very excited about this. This isn't replacing anything else. This is a new floor plan. I think it's a very cool alternative to something like a 316 Cougar, which is very traditional. Let me know what you think about this. Subscribe if you like how we get you the footage. Let's go. Now, this floor plan is kind of funny to me because I've been around the RV industry long enough. I remember when Cougar kind of called this the 327RES, and this is just the newer take on it. I think it's better. I do like it, but this is sort of like if you bump into an old friend from high school and they went to college and they made something out of themselves and they got a degree and they did well in life. It's kind of what this thing reminds me of. It's like bumping into an old friend a little bit. Now, we are in the very first prototype. There will be some things that will be changing. I'm going to try to do my best to point those out as we go. So right now, just to help you get your bearings, we're staring over here directly, obviously, at the main entry door, which does have a privacy shade I just didn't pull down. In the previous versions, this whole wall was a super slide. I never understood what its purpose was. It didn't need to be a full super slide. We didn't need the extra seating. This big window, give it like this dedicated hallway, being able to stand right here, like when you're sitting, in the kitchen, when you're doing prep work, how awesome is the view that you get now? That to me is very cool. There's no one sitting in front of it. There's no one pulling the shades on you if you don't want them to. It's exactly what you want, exactly where you want it, I think. And this to me is really smart. How many times have you ever heard me say like, look at this in comparison to a lot of the rear den models that are out there where you have like a theater seat and opposing hide-a-beds. Why do I need opposing hide-a-beds? I got a theater seat staring at a big 4K television here. Now this crazy super sectional sofa, we're going to get to see this all over the place, but that is in this art. I mean, I'm just going to show you a lot of different versions of this. This is pretty much Cougar exclusive right now, but it is a hide-a-bed. But why do you need space for 6 butts in a couple's camper? It doesn't make sense to me. What makes sense to me though is this right here. Now, Cougar felt this dining slide was a little bit tight, so they're actually going to extend this space by about 6 to 7 inches to make a little bit more room here. And it kind of occurs to me, I like the table and chairs that I'm looking at, and you notice how it's a no-knee knocker. That's a carpetless slide with that woven marine flooring. But it occurs to me that being a full cat Cougar, a booth dinette should be available here, which I guess I got to ask the question, would you like a booth or would you like the table and chairs? Now, here's the funny part. If I zoom in on this, talk about first world problems, everybody, and how fortunate and how spoiled we are. That's a 50-inch 4K television, but it looks small, doesn't it? They're seriously talking about upgrading that to a 65-inch 4K smart TV right from the factory. I kind of like your input on that. Now, it will eat into the little side cabinets a little bit, but personally, I think it would just be the better way to go. Now, let's take a look at this TV, all the different arrangements you can have here. That's a power televator, obviously. There's household outlets on both sides. There's also a switch on the rear wall for just the main ceiling lights. Blackout roller shades, and again, you see that that is a trifold sleeper sofa section over there. Not to mention the fact that this thing folds down into a mega sleeper. Like, this is huge. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing here. Like, I mean, talk about all the space in the world to be able to stretch out, to be able to relax, to do whatever you want. You still have the theater function of this, and it's super cuddle compliant, obviously, but if you're not a cuddler type, talk about having just all kinds of room to stretch out. You want a napping couch? Holy crapping couch. That's what well, no. No, not that. Not a crapping couch. Now, personally, I ironically think that corner seat would be that'd be my favorite spot to sit. So I could, like, kick one leg up if I wanted, so I could stretch out and lay down if I wanted to. But man, if you're gonna entertain all kinds of people, you have all the space to do it, and you still have big window coverage. I think this has more window coverage than the 327 ever dreamed of. Now, by the way, there's a USB plug over there. Again, this is prototype number 1. Cougar has advised they're going to probably put like some household or a USB plug on that little partition, because if you look at this, that is pretty much a mega slide where we have a sofa, well, almost like 2 sofas, and a kitchen contained in the slide. And they're actually going to upgrade this to more of a 3-bar rack and pinion slide to be able to handle as large as that is. Now, the cable slide that's on it currently, or allegedly, is up to the task. Cougar said, I don't want allegedly, I want to know for a fact. And they're going to upgrade that to a big, heavy-duty rack and pinion slide system there. Now, let me kind of pivot around the other way here, from the view of the television. Again, awesome campside window coverage on this. Really well suited to being able to check out your campsite. The other thing I thought about, with this slide only sticking out the door side of the RV just in the very back, this would not be a bad RV if you wanted to put a deck right off the side there. Did you notice that different kind of entry handle? A little bit on that when we step outside. First, though, let's dive into the kitchen. Up top here, you've got that big rain censoring Max Air style, like XL vent fan, Great if you're cooking up a storm or you just want some great airflow coming in through all these windows. And then we start kicking open all the storage. And this is like a classic sofa and kitchen slide. I've seen things like this in the past, but I haven't seen something like this recently in the modern RV market. And the way it kind of wraps around and gives you storage all the way around here is very, very cool. Now, you might notice there's a level change in the kitchen countertop. That is an absolute necessity because the kitchen countertop actually slides over and telescopes over that. So, the big portion of the countertop where the sink is, that's fixed. But the portion that's in the slide will sleeve over those drawers that are in that slightly recessed portion. Similarly, what they did here is the best I've ever seen anyone do anything like this. The entire sofa is actually on a sliding roller platform. And you will see in road mode, what that means is that when you retract the slide, the entire sofa will slide. You don't have to half disassemble it like you've had to in sectional style sofas in the past in the RV industry. That right there, it's those kind of little details that are taking this classic floor plan that might be new to a lot of people, but might be familiar to some folks like me that have been around for a while, and going to elevate it back to the status of modern and weirdly innovative, which I think is actually kind of cool. Now, I shot myself in the foot. You already saw that there's plenty of space around that toilet. There's that space right there is actually sort of half shared with the pantry, but technically above the pantry. And you've got yourself some excellent headroom in the shower. I'm a little bit over 6 foot tall. I can stand in that thing absolutely no problem myself. Corner seat in that. Obviously, the shower door can slide over to the other side as well. Now, the sink space right here, one of the cool things about these is Cougar does some really good storage down below those. I like how they don't waste any of that space. Another interesting thing, Cougar's not the only brand to do it. A lot of your, Montana's do it. They fully frame out all of their doorways to help keep everything held square, which I think is cool. Second air will be optional in these. It's 50 amp standard. I'd be willing to bet something this big. There's no way I would want one of these without a second air. It's way too much cubic foot of space. Now, if you look around the RV, if you replay this footage, look for outlets that have those yellow stickers on them. Those are inverter prepped outlets, which is very cool in case you have a device like if you want to add a TV to this bedroom and you do want to do some off-grid kind of camping untethered from the parks. You could do that here. They've added these little elevated shelf things. I don't want to call it a side stand. I don't know, but you get the idea. Also, you see household and USB outlets. You see inverter plug. And if I swing you slowly over to the other side, you see another inverter plug, you know. Up in the front closet, you'll see more inverter plugs. What do we got here? We have ourselves a 70 by 80 king bed with storage below, as you can see. And then, obviously, we've got a big, like, closet and shoe storage portion. But then you have your stackable washer-dryer prep cabinet over here, overlooking a big campsite window, which also has a blackout roller shade, and more dresser drawer storage space. This is not the biggest fifth wheel. It doesn't have the biggest bedroom. It doesn't have the biggest features, but I think it checks all the boxes, and I think it does so extremely, extremely well. And I'm so eager to see what you folks think about that living room. Now, rolling out from the bedroom for road mode, obviously with the hallway over here on the door side, bedroom, bathroom access, not a question whatsoever. And this is what I was talking about. So these slides, they almost just like Tetris interlock, lace over one another. But notice how the entire sofa is on that sliding platform. It's brilliant. You know, it's something like it's really hard to screw up that way. Because the older version of this, you could screw it up. You had to half disassemble the sofa every time you opened and closed it. But look at this. With the slides closed, you can easily get over here to the fridge. And you get a nice little look at me in the refrigerator reflection there. What a lucky day for everybody. I am so sorry. Please don't cancel me after seeing that. All right, so once again, I am in an active display. There is some entertainment going on behind me. Apologies for the noise. Hopefully it's minimized enough. It's not really too distracting. I am really wedged in here. Unfortunately, I'd love to look at this thing straight up from the back because it's just pure windows and pure visibility off the back with those opposing slides. Now down here, we've got ourselves a 300-pound accessory hitch. Just in front of that, we have ourselves that little sewer hose caddy, so you don't need to get your black tank stuff all mixed up with your camping stuff. Fully enclosed, forced air heated, radiant barrier, tank heaters, all those good things. Plus, all the things they're doing like up around the roof line give Cougars just a really strong weather package. 0 to 110 degree, rated, tested, and proven. Now, if there's one thing you can tell from this Cougar, it's got a lot of glass and a lot of class. You can see everything everywhere, and notice how they're all maximum airflow windows, giving you the best fumigation fighting on a frequent flyer Taco Tuesday or something like that. Full window in the entry door, I did mention has a shade, but take a look at this new handle. I want some feedback on this. What do you think about this? Like I saw Brinkley using this. I'm sure Cougar doesn't appreciate me mentioning that, but neither here nor there. This is the new handle for Moride, and basically, what's kind of cool about it, it just folds straight in and out. It doesn't fold sideways. So no unattended child who's not being monitored at the campground can't fold it over your entry door, where you either have to beg for help or break it to get out. Goodyear Endurance radials now standard for 23. You still have that Road Armor suspension package, giving you a nice smooth ride and handling. And then up front here, with this being a full Big Cat Cougar, you have yourself a full Big Cat Cougar, large pass-through compartment, those magnet holdbacks, and more of those inverter prepped outlets down here right next to our in-command system. And I sure hope that's not the actual Goodyear blimp. If so, they have greatly overstated its size on all those news broadcasts that I've seen over the years. Big pass-through again on this one, but over there on the other side, you know what? I'll walk around the other side and get you a better look at that in just a minute here. First, let me wrap around the front, because this is something that I forget to do a lot on these Cougars. Let me see what view of the nose cap I can get you wedged in next to the ladder of this thing. But up here in the front, this is the standard front end on this. It will change a little bit if you get the 600 IL solar package. Now, they're telling us here about the Dexter Tow Assist. This is something you can't see, and they're kind of playing with the idea of basically building in an anti-sway system, a towing assist system directly onto the RV. Now, it's very new. I don't have a whole lot of information on it yet. Apologies there. If I learn more about it, if it looks like that's something that they're going to be doing more of, I will get you like a separate video on that topic. By the way, real quick, we have our tankless on-demand water heater right there next to our fully enclosed, privatized docking center. We have solar on the roof always, but you've also got a portable side mount prep plug over there right below that outside utility shower as well. Now today we're looking at the SolarFlex 400 package as opposed to the base 200. Normally, you always have a good quality Victron MPPT controller. Normally, you'd have a 15 amp. When you go up to SolarFlex 400, you go to a 30. Now you might notice multiple disconnects. One is for the house, one is specifically for the solar. And again, you're actually still looking at an inverter prepped loop dedicated straight to the air conditioner off the 400 package. 400 package gives us an inverter running a bunch of stuff in the house. If you want to add a second inverter to power the, large enough to power the air conditioner directly, that actually is something you can do and expand on SolarFlex 400, and it's already done for you on the 600. So I had to finally give up the display here. Too many people were knocking. I figured it was time to wrap things up. Let me know what you think about this. Like I said, if you've been around, if you remember the old 327 Cougar, I don't think they were actually intending to like revamp it. It's like a reboot. It's an RV reboot. That's what this one is. Let me know what you think about this one. There's not a whole lot else exactly like it, but that rear den reflection, maybe the 335 Eagle in a somewhat similar vein, but I like the kitchen of this one so much better. That's my 2 cents though. Look at the video description, take a look at the two models that I just mentioned, and which one would you go with and why? And until next time, make sure you hit subscribe, like our video, take care, stay safe, have fun. Happy camping, everyone.